I originally did a build the blueprint initial opinions and commentary on the Double O Quanta nearly 2 years ago when I got it, and that was back in the good old days of paper, rock, scissors. Why it is I didn't publish, I can't remember if I had like chosen to start publishing at that point or if I just didn't get around to it, but it actually got to the point where I couldn't remember if I'd actually reviewed it yet or not. So technically this counts as a re-review, but on the other hand, I've never shown the original footage, so it's not going to be an initial reaction video. If anything, it's going to be I've used it for quite some time now. Here are my opinions of it. And I've done that in a couple of other reviews as well. So this is going to be nothing new. Double Quanta, most people are of the opinion it comes after Double Riser. Like Double Riser is kind of the ultimate S rank unit in SDGO in terms of melee and agility and things like that. It's very 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 powered. Double Riser, and I forgot to mention this, is probably rivaled only by the Infinite Justice, and that's mostly because of the Neutron Jammer Canceller. Um, Gosh, how many other units that I have that'd be able to rival those two? It's a bit of a stretch. So I mean, how do you top Double O Riser? The answer is you can't. Not not really. Double O Quanta, I think it should have been an SS rank. But on the other hand, and I promise I won't spoil it, the way it was handled in the movie Awakening of the Trailblazer, it's understandable why it is it's only an S rank. Like, yeah, I mean, chronologically and technologically, it should be above Double O Riser. But in SDGO and the way it's portrayed in the movie, it's understandable why it turned out the way it did here. So, Prime92, I'm under the impression that since you like all of the mobile suits that Setsuna FCA piloted, you are in a crush with Setsuna FCA, possibly.
I am in a crush with Gundam.
Gundam.
Specifically Xy's lineage. And Double Rise or Double Quanta has the aesthetics of Xy more so, a lot more so than Double Riser did.
Yeah, that's true.
The
There's a mix.
head,
Yeah, there's
the
definitely a mixture of Exia and Double O Riser or Double O Gundam. I'm sorry, in here. There's definitely a mixture, and not just the technologies
you
involved.
know, I decided to put the chest with the GN drive again.
That was
So
nice. This is a scissor against a rock, by the way, folks. So you have to be expecting this kind of outcome. I have to charge 4 times. I have to attack 4 times in order to do anything to that Infinite Justice. And by the way, Infinite Justice, arguably now the most powerful S rank, well, SS rank in the entire game. So yes. 10, 11, 12, 13 shots with patience.
nice.
I should also note that of all the units that Setsuna FCA pilots that appear in SDGO, this is the only one that's a scissors. But that's not true. Estrella. Oh no, he didn't pilot Estrella. So yeah, of all the Seiya mobile suits, this is the only one that's a scissors. So it's a 4-hit.
What about that GN flag with the sword?
That's not a Gundam.
No, but he piloted it.
True, true. Scissor bits, really nice. You fire them all off and out. Whoa, that's new.
Huh.
I just noticed the icon for the scissor bits. It doesn't just say R like it usually does. It actually says SF. I've never seen that before.
That's a...
And dispec. Hidden beam cannon. Hidden beam cannon. Still not wholly impressed with the damage that this thing puts out. Even after, was it 2 years of having this or whatever. Scissor bits, okay, whatever. Beam rifle, okay. The melee and the scissor bits really could use some upgrade. And now for the alternate mode. Gets interesting at this point.
paddle mode.
Huh?
It's paddle mode. It's a
Oh,
paddle.
yes, absolutely. One hit knockdown, no dash. 3 shots. 4 with a little bit of patience. I'm under the impression they decreased the reload rate on this a little bit, so. And it's just the one quick counter swing and that's it. But it's a full knockdown. So, you know, whatever. Must gain SP. Need more speed. Clearly this mode is meant to cater to having the GN sword bits, which is, I think they're sword bits is what they're called. Clearly meant to cater to this particular mode. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I should point out, when you fire off your scissor bits, you cannot transform, because the other mode is dependent on the scissor bits to make the alternate weapons. That's still really weak, and I still need more SP. There. Now beam spec.
I think for being the sole factor in being able to transform, those fangs would do a little bit more damage.
I agree. I agree. And mobility time. Yay. And yes, I do have the 10% booster extension on there, but you know, it still boosts pretty much. I mean, despite the fact that it's got, you know, it's got some good melee on it. Unfortunately, it still boosts like a scissors. So yeah, same boost ratio in both directions. Now, Prime, if you'd be so kind as to drop me to, was it 60%? Just make me turn pink. Okay, there we go. Movement, dash, agility, booster capacity. So, actually, it's more like right there. Yeah, you barely turn the corner. So, yeah. Actually, wait, this actually boosts slightly longer. What? Wait, you gotta wait for the whole capacity, Eva. I wish the booster recovery had been increased a bit. Yeah, it comes out with like a fraction of a second less. Well, that's maybe because I didn't turn the corner, but yeah, whatever. Okay. As with the double O riser, or double O, was it double O sun riser and double O riser condenser? Does that have quantizing?
Yeah.
I think it does.
Pretty sure.
I don't remember. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and hit me. Hit me! You have the ability to quantize. As long as you're not in attack animation, you will quantize. And just like with go ahead. And just like with the double O riser, the various double O risers, if you're in attack animation, you cannot quantize. So in other words, if you're actively hitting a target, then it will not. If I'm reaching that, you will not quantize. See, there are other benefits to that as well. So go ahead and draw me down again until I quantize. What? Don't you know how to combo Prime?
Never gonna get it. Oh shit, I'm done.
Let's see. Nullify, search distance, radar, cloak dependence on radar. Blah, 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 whatever. Don't care. And quantizing applies in both modes. So yeah, but you can only quantize twice before you have to refill your SP. So in other words, if I get a little bit of my SP back, like right there, I don't have enough for two whole quantizing, but Prime, go ahead. Yeah, see? And I might be able to quantize one more time, I'm not sure. Yep, I am.
Yeah.
And rest assured, unlike the other cloaking units in SDGO, the Blitz Gundam, the Death Scythes, the Mirage Frame, this one is 100% cloaked, even if you're in full boost. So in other words, you will not be the little glass statue boosting around all over the place. It's just you completely disappear, except for when you enter into the quantizing state and when you leave it. And the quantizing is only about 2 or 3 seconds, so it's not a lot of time to do anything, but it is just enough time to do your little MCA thing, come up behind a target, and finish it. Okay, take 3. Okay, so kind of my biggest problem with Double O Quanta. I mean, here it is. 2 years after I've been using it. It has good agility, has good attack speed on pretty much everything. It's a long range beam rifle, so of course it's not going to be that great. A lot of the decisions that were made in building Double O Quanta, I'm kind of under the impression that they watched the movie kind of religiously, and they wanted to imitate what Double O Quanta did. Now, like I said in the movie, and I'm not going to get into details of what it did, it doesn't do much. So it's kind of understandable that the melee is kind of meh. It kind of okay, spoiler alert. I'll say this much: the beam sword or the giant buster sword, he never used it. I don't think he used the sword. Like he used the cannon, but he didn't use the sword. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Prime. Like I've got it on DVD and all that stuff, but I can't remember.
Um, yeah, just the cannon.
Yeah, I think it was
Maybe
just
just
the
one.
cannon. Yeah, so it's kind of understandable that it's only one hit with a knockdown. And then the GN Sword 5 here, which by the way, yes, I too am under the impression that having a sword blade for a gun barrel is not good enough. I wish Bandai had done that a little differently. Like I understand they're trying to they were like we were saying a little earlier. It's kind of like Exia for the movie, as opposed to like an upgraded Double O Riser. This is kind of like Exia, perfected version of Exia, because it's got remote weapons, all these blades attached here. Those are all swords, as opposed to having it attached to the backskirt armor or attached to the side armor. All the swords are sitting over here, and believe it or not, it doesn't happen in SDGO, but each and every one of these blades can be used as a different weapon. Some of them are daggers, some of them are swords, some of them are tonfas, bladed tonfas. So, and that's all in addition to the one they have here. And there's a bunch of different combinations, but obviously you didn't see any of those in the movie. I almost said series, which is wrong. You didn't see any of those in the movie. So it was really limited in what they could do here, and I can understand that. I do kind of wish that, like the Buster Sword, you can actually do it with the model kits or with the Gunpla, but I can kind of understand why it is they didn't give you the Tonfa or the daggers or the kind of short swords. Like I can kind of understand why they didn't do that. Although this, the long sword, they needed to get it in there just because model kits can do it, but it's also unfortunate that they had to leave those out in some fashion. Um, so I mean, believe it or not, Double O Quanta truly is a really really powerful mobile suit. It's just it didn't get very much screen time in the movie. I'm not going to say why. It didn't get a lot of screen time, so unfortunately, Softmax didn't have a lot of material to work with. Like they knew the capabilities of it from model kits and probably what from Bandai Entertainment sent to them, or whatever it's called in Japan, probably Bandai. But to do justice here, it would have been difficult to incorporate that. In my opinion, it should have been an SS rank, but I can understand, it's underutilized in the movie, and so just being a regular S rank also kind of makes sense. So, with that said, what's here is not outright bad in terms of what it has to offer. And you've got the huge beam cannon that he used in the movie. Okay, fair enough. And then you've got some kind of melee spec that shows off the hidden beam cannon, which by the way, no model kit even has like a little barrel or something. It's just it's quote unquote hidden, but model kits don't have the barrel there. It doesn't make any sense. So it's there for some reason. Unfortunately, also you can kind of see it in the ready up. I'm just going to dump this here real quick. You can see it in the ready up when it's in normal mode here. The shield moves onto the back. That's about as close to the purged. What do you call it? What's it called when he purges all the armor?
Um, I think it's just quantize.
Yeah. Well, no.
Not quantize a full, no, full burst? No.
No.
Quantize burst? Crap.
Quantum burst, maybe? No. Quantum burst
Yeah,
is
yeah,
no.
I think it's quantum burst. Sounds right.
No. Quantum burst is where he where he does the psychic connection with everybody.
Yeah, that's why he purged it.
Okay, all right.
His
So when he
Trans is from Double Riser.
right. I agree. Yes, but I just don't remember. But anyways, the point being the reason I'm showing that off is because, and I'll turn it on the back here. This is as close as why did I do it? This is as close as you get to the moment where he purges all the armor and the shield actually, which by the way is on this arm right here over the shoulder. That's the only time you see that happens. So there is no animation, unfortunately, in SDGO. There's no animation of the armor purging, which by the way,
God,
why did I'm kind of glad.
can you
Honestly, they
imagine?
didn't do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
feet.
yeah, the feet. I don't understand why the feet just disappear. So yeah, whatever. Um, so it's limited not by what the designers in softmax did, but rather it's limited by what you saw on screen. Um, if you want to complain about parts and stuff, let's see that and that. Okay, custom reset parts. So um, okay, so what I do with this thing? I had reload and HP up, and I had something else. It's mid-range combat, so you're going to be getting a little closer to targets. Reload rates, they are a bit of an issue. I don't think it's an issue on this mid-range single beam rifle here. Honestly, I'd probably put it on the long range here, buff that up a little bit. It is a paper, or it is a scissors, of course. I'm gonna remove that long range thing because I barely noticed the change on the beam rifle there. But I would definitely do a generic attack up. That is a bit necessary. Um, so a little bit of mobility and and then a focus on attack is how I would do it. It's not too dissimilar from what I said about Double Riser. It just doesn't hit hard enough. It's an SS rank. It's the most powerful SS rank ever. Yeah, but they nerfed it so hard that some of the damage there is actually not all that great. So, and also it's mid-range combat. You kind of feel like this almost feels like a shooty rock, almost. And I kind of want to, by putting that generic attack up in there, that's kind of what I want to do with it. Should I do mobility type? You can if you want to. Although, to be fair, boosting dash speed, agility, that might that is a little bit of an issue. But once you get the Trans Am going, Trans Am double quanta version, uh, you won't have much difficulty with that. So, um, but I think the focus should be, maybe a focus on attack. Yeah, I think because I'm kind of thinking to myself, which one do I want to focus on more, agility and mobility, or do I want to focus on damage that puts out? And unfortunately, or I shouldn't say unfortunately, but in my opinion, it needs attack damage more than it needs mobility. So like I'll still keep this here because it's a scissors, and it needs a little more, but I think the priority should be in the attack damage. Um, that there and now the quantizing. No, I don't want to say that right now. This is where you get your movement speed, dash speed, agility, booster capacity, blah 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 blah. Really, the only thing you have to worry about is when you reach 40% HP. I kept blanking on what that was. You quantize, which is the gimmick for this unit. It's a little inconvenient when when you throw off those scissor bits and then you can't transform. It's also really inconvenient when you try to transform and it won't let you during. But it's a little awkward. But it's not like you can really do anything about that. There it is, right there, Prime. Look at that. Underneath, directly underneath the icon, it says SF. What is that? Sword funnel?
That's, maybe. Could be so full.
I don't know. That's weird.
Oh.
I've never seen that before
So,
because usually it says R for remote,
mm-hmm.
or sometimes it says F for funnel. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I would do an attack up with maybe a little bit of mobility parts built in there. Would I say balance type? Eh, actually, that might not be too bad. So maybe this, and maybe this. That might be kind of neat instead. Yeah, I could do that. All right. I know I sound a little uncertain there, but yeah. Okay, Prime, your turn.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's about. I think I'd probably go balance. I'd probably just do personally attack and defense. I've never been a big fan of doing mobility, unless it's like really shown on the suit. But quad is just kind of like it's fine. Aside, like you said, from the funnels or the fangs.
They're bits, Prime. Jeez.
I know.
They're bits. You see, it even says it right there.
Yes.
Yeah. I think kind of the problem with this is it wasn't a rock, but ironically he didn't use his sword very much. Like Setsuna F. Seiya in kind of the ultimate mobile suit customized for his use exclusively doesn't do a lot of sword work, but it's covered in melee weapons, and yet for whatever reason it's kind of eh. And unfortunately I think it's kind of reflected in how this unit was balanced and some of the decisions they made about it. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, they didn't have a lot to go from.
yeah, unfortunately. I still think it should be an SS rank. Get some of those blades in there. Like maybe he throws them like daggers, or
Yeah, that'd be
I
fun.
don't know. You could get something in there. And three.
It's like the one mode you can have like the G and the fangs as like the shield that sits in front of you.
Oh yeah, well he does that during the spec. Although
Yeah, I mean like as an actual defense sort of thing.
yeah, I could see that happening. Maybe they could have done it like they did with the Kublai Awakened, where they had a dedicated third weapon. If it had been an SS rank, that might have been an option. Where, uh, well, I don't know about the sword bits kind of going out doing their own thing by
Well, it's
themselves.
like the
I was gonna say
try
like
the beam
Zabanya.
shield off it's like the beam shield off the Victory too.
Oh sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. That might have been interesting. And then you lose the shield when you use this mode. Yeah, I could see that happening. Kind of the problem I had with painting up Double O Quanta, and I'll be honest, I actually gave Double O Quanta a pass in terms of its function, just like I give Wings Your Custom a pass because it just looks elegant and it looks pretty, and I kind of crush on it. So like I give it a pass in terms of the technology that it presents and how it fights and what it fights with and blah blah blah. It's like I kind of give it a pass, but so it was actually rather difficult for me to decide how I was going to paint this up because originally I was going to go with let's see, how do I do this? It was going to be this and this, and the thing about this arrangement is that if you watch the teaser trailer, not the proper trailer, but the teaser trailer for Double O the movie, it has no red parts on it anywhere. It's just strictly this. And they changed it eventually so that it had, red parts, a little more exia in the coloring or whatever it is. So I kept trying to come up with like variations of, oh, I forgot that's not the normal color, right? I kept trying to come up with variations of the different colors of blue or whatever it was, and it just didn't pan out. Um, once I also needed a color scheme that could match the other three um, movie rank S ranks, or the movie S ranks. So it had to be something that all four of them. And I've got Raphael, and it colored up really weird, and I don't use it, so it doesn't count. But I neutralized all the colors. I was kind of thinking kind of an angelic coloring scheme, like kind of living up to their name, celestial beings. So they've all got kind of, well, maybe not a double quanta, but they've all got the halos, you know, over there for their V fins, and then they're all white. And some of them have wings and some of them don't, and it's like, yeah, okay, that can kind of work. And then just change the red areas into something they can all live with. So yeah, that's what I was thinking with the coloring scheme. The interesting thing about coloring this up though is that the first slot actually goes to the blue parts. It doesn't go to the ordinarily white parts. So that was a little awkward to deal with. So there's all the white parts. There's the red. There's the little bit of yellow that it's got, which is just on the collar and the upper boob thrusters, I'll say. And then strictly the shield, the scissor bits, and the GN Sword 5. So yeah, I tried to do Ava Uniform, and it just like I might be able to do it, but I just wasn't very happy with it. Let's see. Oops. The other thing that stopped me from doing it this way is that it's got a lot of green on it again, so which was an issue. Let's see, where did I put the white? Where does it go? There. I mean, I could have gone Ava Unit 4 on it, but yeah, it just didn't work. And Prime, I think you'll agree with me on this, and that's the reason I left it. Double O Quanta in all the SDGO units, Double O Quanta is really pretty eyes, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, very detailed.
And they look amazing, kind of really, no matter what. They just kind of meant to be bright. Doesn't really matter what kind of color you put on it. Well, okay, maybe that one, maybe not that
Yeah.
one. But it's like no matter what color you put on it, even the green, really bright, really bright, bright. Then we go yellow. It's like no matter what you put on there, it looks really, really pretty. So it's just kind of, I'll leave the colors.
I like the blue.
Yeah, the the blue is very nice on there. So yeah, I think Prime and I are both running out of steam here. Um, it's in terms of this reel, like it's getting close to dinner time for me, and it's already bedtime for her. So, can you believe it, folks? We actually live on opposite sides of the continent. Yeah, we know each other so well.
Yeah.
Or at least we know our mobile suits so well.
Damn right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Final thoughts, Prime. Anything?
Um, final thoughts. It's a decent unit. I just that they did what they could with what they had to work with from the movie, and I mean it shows off enough stuff I think. But like I said, like you said, it would be nice to have incorporated the fangs into some kind of extra weapon. Would be nice, and if the funnels could do a little bit more, or wouldn't limit you to the one mode, that'd be cool. But I think everything else is okay.
Mm-hmm. I think it's lacking a little bit in attack damage. And yeah, it suffers a bit because of the movie, but I think what's here is not bad overall. The types of weapons it has available to it, I don't think they're stretching at all beyond the reason of what you saw in the movie. So what you saw there, you're pretty much, with the exception of the sword in this one, that's pretty much what you're going to get here. Um, but it's a scissors. I think it suffers a little bit as a result of that. So it does need. I think you should go for that attack type there. Um, it's not the most powerful S rank. I'm not going to call it. It's kind of what's one step above meh in terms of
Um,
being good. Let's see. Bittersweet, maybe
acceptable?
acceptable. I suppose it's acceptable. Um, you have to work for it a little bit to get this unit in terms of the blueprint, but it's not going to be. I've never heard of anybody refer to Double O Quanta as one of the greatest units out there, one of the greatest S ranks out there.
Oh.
It's not going to do that. If you love Double O Riser and all the variants of it, if you go into building Double O Quanta thinking it's going to be better than that, you will be disappointed. There will be disappointment involved there because that's not. If you go into this, okay, maybe if you go into it thinking it's an S rank version of Exia, then arguably, and correct me if I'm wrong, Prime, arguably you could say this is the better version, the best version of Gundam Exia, without the dumbfire and the throwing of the swords and the things like that. That's a little bit of a stretch, I know, but correct me if I'm wrong in that.
Uh, well, kind of makes sense. I mean, it even has the seven swords, so
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
why not? Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's hard to get enthusiastic for it. I'll be honest, but it's by no means bad. Should it have been a poverty tier unit? No, no. I don't want to. I don't want a bunch of scrubs running on sword bits and instant knockdowns. That's not going to happen. Um, I think you have to have a bit of a love of Double Quanta. I think you have to have nostalgia for Double Quanta in order to go into it and get this. It's not going to be the best performing S rank out there, but on the other hand, is not bad. It is average. It is average, unfortunately. But damn, does it cut a rug? Doing it. It looks really good in everything it does.
Mhm.
All right, one more, Prime. There's one more we got to do, and I've been putting it off for a while now. And since you're here, we got to do it. Double Quanta Full Saver.
Full saver, yes. The unit that could possibly have taken out the entire ELS by itself.
Oh, absolutely. What's ELS? What is this ELS you speak of? Prime92, once more, thank you very much for helping me out with this.
Oh, you're welcome.
And this is AV Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.